Okay. Hello, everyone. This is episode 7. Okay. Let's read some words about last episode. Lumber, 木材 lumber, conspiracy, 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 constitute a classic conspiracy. Right? Am I right? Am I right?
Conspiracy.
Okay, conspiracy. Okay. Constitute a classic conspiracy. At any rate, 各种情况下，无论如何 ，at any rate, at any rate，无论如何，各种情况下，无论如何，总之，言而总之，总而言之，pledge, no, pledge, 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 pledge,
Pledge.
pledge, okay. Disguise, disguise, corroborate, 合作 corroborate, corroborate, 记不住，证实
Corroborate.
啊 corroborate, 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 证实这个词应该是常用，记不住 disguise, disguise, 隐藏，是吧 corroborate, corroborate,
Corroborate.
为什么没有音标呢？
Corroborate.
看 corroborate, 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 corroborate,
Corroborate.
corroborate, assure, assurance, assuring, reassuring, 记不住。assure， 哦，记住这个就行。sure, assure， 保证，这个也是保证。pledge, pledge， 保证。承诺。
Pledge.
assuring, reassuring,
Reassuring.
give us away. I don't feel it any extract, exaggeration to speak of our secret expedition to Jersey Island as the occasion of the actual conception of what eventually became the Federal Reserve System. Actual conception. I don't feel it any exaggeration. Speak out of our secret expedition. Expedition. Secret expedition. Jersey Island. As the occasion of the actual conception. As the occasion of the actual conception of what eventually became the Federal Reserve System. Federal Reserve System. Okay, I don't feel it. I don't feel it is. I don't feel it. I don't feel it's. I don't feel it's an instruction to speak out of our secret expedition to Jelly Island at the occasion of actual conception of what eventually became the Federal Reserve System. I don't feel it. It's an extraction to speak out of our secret expedition to Jelly Island as the occasion of the actual conception of what eventually became the Federal Reserve System. 哇，现在读的不错哈。Okay, let's continue reading today's destination. The story is confirmed. The structure was pure cartel. No. Here were representation of the world's leading banking consortium. Okay, this here. The structure was pure cartel. 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 A 上面两个点儿。No. A 上面两个点儿 here. Father. Cartel 啊。Cartel. Cartel. 注意在后边 cartel. 注意在 cartel. Pure cartel. The composition of Jekyll Island meeting was a classic example of cartel structure. A cartel is a group of independent businesses which join together to coordinate the production, pricing, or marketing of their members. The purpose of a cartel is to reduce competition, and thereby increase profitability. This is accomplished through a shared monopoly over their industry, where force the public to pay higher prices for their goods or services than would be otherwise required under free enterprise competition. Accomplished. Okay. This is accomplished through this is accomplished through a shared monopoly共同垄断 over their industry. Okay, let's listen. Hi there. Okay. Hi there.
Okay, you said hi there, and then okay, hi there. Is there anything you'd like to talk about?
Can you be my English teacher? I will give you a sentence. Can you read it for me?
Sure, I can do that. Please give me the sentence and I will read it for you. Okay, I can read that for you. The sentence is, this is accomplished through a shared monopoly over their industry. Is there anything else you would like me to read?
I will read it. Can you correct my pronunciation?
Yes, I can try my best to correct your pronunciation. Please go ahead and read the sentence.
This is accomplished through a shared monopoly over their industry.
Okay, I can give you some feedback. You pronounced accomplished very well, but monopoly was a little off. It should sound more like monopoly. The rest was pretty clear. Would you like to try again?
This is accomplished through a shared monopoly over their industry.
Okay, that was a bit closer. You are still adding an extra this at the beginning, and monopoly still needs a bit of work. It's not monopoly, but monopoly. Would you like to try again focusing on just those two things?
This is accomplished through a shared monopoly over their industry.
Okay, you're still adding an extra this at the beginning. Try to just say this is once. Also, remember the pronunciation of monopoly? It's monopoly. Would you like to try again?
This is accomplished. This is
Okay, you
accomplished.
stopped before.
This is
Okay, you
accomplished
stopped.
through a shared monopoly over their industry.
Okay, that was much better. You got the this is correct, and monopoly was very close. You said monopoly instead of.
Is it right to monopoly?
Monopoly.
啊，mono，为什么两个点发啊？Father，OK，monopoly，monopoly，monopoly，monopoly，monopoly，
Monopoly. Monopoly. Monopoly.
monopoly，OK，monopoly。A shared monopoly over the industry, which forces the public to pay higher prices for their goods or services than would be otherwise required under free enterprise competition. Okay, see. Here were representative of the world's leading banking consortia.
Consortia.
Consortia, oh my god. Consortia. Here were representatives of the world's leading banking consortia: Morgan, Rothschild, Rockefeller, Rothschild, Rockefeller, Rothschild, Warburg, and Kunlove. They were often competitors. They were often competitors, and there's little doubt that there was considerable distrust between them, and the skillful maneuvering for favored position in any agreement. There was considerable distrust considerable trust between them. There's considerable distrust between them, and skillful maneuvering for favored position in any agreement. Favored position. Favored. What's your favorite? Maneuvering.
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 Considerable distrust between them and skillful maneuvering or favored position in any agreement. OK， consortium 财团 banking consortium。Consortium was leading banking consortium. Banking consortium. Consortium. 这是 consortium.
Consortium.
Consortium. 团伙 Consortium. OK， 这里是世界顶级银行财团的代表 representatives. They are the representatives of the world's leading banking consortium. Okay. There's little doubt that there was considerable distrust between them and skillful maneuvering for favored position in any agreement, but they were driven together by one overriding desire to fight their common enemy. The enemy was competition. In 1910, the number of banks in the United States was growing at a phenomenal rate. 这个词经常出现 phenomenal. Technology is advancing at a phenomenal rate. The country's economy is growing at a phenomenal rate. The country's economy is growing at a phenomenal rate. 应该怎么读？这个应该是长义的。Hi there.
Hello, how can I help you today?
Could you be my English teacher?
Sure, I can help you with English. What would you like to work on today?
I will give you a sentence. Can you read it?
Yes, I can read a sentence for you. Please provide the sentence when you're ready. Okay, I can read that for you. The country's economy is growing at a phenomenal rate.
The country's economy is growing at a phenomenal rate.
I see. It looks like you're having some trouble with the pronunciation. Would you like me to help you practice that sentence?
Yeah?
Okay, let's work on it together. I'll say the sentence slowly, and you can repeat after me. Ready?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Hey, yeah.
Okay, here we go. The country's economy is growing at a phenomenal rate. Can you try repeating that?
The country's economy is growing at a phenomenal rate. At a phenomenal rate.
Good job. That's much better. You're still having a little trouble with phenomenal. Let's focus on that word. Can you
Phenomenal.
repeat after?
Phenomenal.
Yes, that's right. Great job. You've got it. Now, can you try saying the whole sentence?
The country's economy is growing at a phenomenal rate. Phenomenal rate. Phenomenal rate.
Excellent. That sounds really good. You've made a lot of progress. Do you want to try another sentence?
Okay, phenomenal rate. Phenomenal rate. Phenomenal. Phenomenal.
Phenomenal.
Phenomenal. Phenomenal. Phenomenal. Okay. At a phenomenal. 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 At a phenomenal. No. Phenomenal rate. At a phenomenal. 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 Phenomenal rate. Phenomenal rate. Okay. In fact, it had more than doubled to over 20,000 in just the previous 10 years. Furthermore, most of them were springing up in the South and West, causing the New York banks to suffer a steady decline of market share. Almost all banks in the 1880s were national banks, which means they were chartered by the federal government. Generally, they were located in the big cities and were allowed by law to issue their own currency in the form of banknotes. And were allowed by law to issue their own currency in the form of banknotes. Banknotes 银行票据 in the form of banknotes 根据银行票据 banknotes allowed by law to issue their own currency. Oh, even as early as 1896. However, the number of non-national banks had grown to 61%, 61%, and they already held 54% of the country's total bank deposit. By 1913, when the Federal Reserve Act 联邦储备法 was passed, those numbers were 71% non-national banks holding 57% of the deposit. In the eyes of those stock hunters from New York, in the eyes of those stock hunters from New York, this was a trend that simply had to be reserved. Competition also was coming from a new trend in industry to financial future, growth out of profits rather than from borrowed capital. Financial future grows out of fees rather than from coming from a new trend in industry to financial future growth out of fees rather than from a borrowed capital. 来自工业领域，竞争也是来自工业领域，就是通过利润而非借贷为未来。Competition also coming from a new trend industry. A new trend in industry, financial future growth out of fees rather than borrowing capital. 还可以读一读。Hello? Hello?
Hi there, how can I help you?
Can you be my English teacher? I will give you a sentence. Can you read it for me?
Sure, I can help with that. Please share the sentence you would like me to read. Okay, I've got it. That sentence is, competition also was coming from a new trend in industry to finance future growth out of profits rather than from borrowed capital. Is there anything else you would like me to do with that sentence?
I will read it. Can you correct my pronunciation?
Yes, I can try my best to help you with that. Please read the sentence again and I'll give you feedback on your pronunciation.
Competition also was coming from a new trend in industry to financial future growth out of fees rather than from borrowed capital.
Okay, I'll give you some feedback. It seems like you're having some trouble with the TH sound, so try to put your tongue between your teeth when you say words like the, rather, and growth.
The growth rather.
Yes, that's a great improvement. Also, try to pronounce borrowed with 2 syllables. Is there anything else you would like me to help you with?
Oh, borrowed.
Yes, that's it. You've got it. Do you want to try the whole sentence again?
Competition also competition also competition also was coming from a new trend in industry to financial future growth out of fees
Okay,
rather than from a borrowed capital.
that was very good. You've improved a lot. There's just a slight hesitation between the words also and was. You can try to smooth that transition by saying them a little faster. But overall, that was a very good attempt.
Okay, thank you. Bye bye. The this this was the outgrowth of free market interest rates, which set a realistic balance between debt and three feet. This was the outgrowth of the outgrowth of free market interest rates, which set a realistic balance between debt and thrift, debt, debt and thrift.
debt,
Debt, thrift,
thrift,
thrift, between debt and thrift, 债务和储蓄 thrift, between debt and thrift, debt and thrift, there was outgrowth. This was the outgrowth of free market interest rates, which set a realistic balance between debt and thrift. This was the outgrowth of free market interest rates, which set a realistic balance between debt and thrift. Okay. Rates were low enough to attract serious borrowers who were confident of the success of their business ventures and of their ability to repay, but they were high enough to discourage loans for frivolous ventures of those for which there were alternative sources of funding. For example, one's capital. Own capital. That balance between debt and thrift was the result of a limited money supply. Banks could create loans in exceed of their actual deposits, as we shall see, but there was a limit to that process. Could create loans in exercise of the actual deposits, as we'll see, but there was a limit to that process, and that limit was ultimately determined by the supply of gold they held. Consequently, between 19 and 1910, consequently, banks could create loans of their actual deposits. Their actual deposits 实际存款
deposits, deposit,
deposition, deposit,
deposit,
deposit. totally different. Okay, the deposit, deposit, deposition. Okay, deposit, deposition, 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 deposition. Banks could create loans in excess of their, in excess of, as we shall see, but there was a limit to that process. Fractional reserve backing. 部分准备金制的 fractional reserve banking. Okay, in excess of,
In excess of. Excess.
access,
Excess.
or those, exercise, no, access, access, in excess of. Okay, in excess of their deposits, actual deposit,
Deposits. Deposit.
deposit, father, deposit,
Deposit.
okay, the deposit, okay, deposit, the deposit, okay, actual deposit 啊，这个词银行经常会用的哈 ，deposition, deposit, deposit 啊，这个 O 居然发啊，真的是发啊，这应该发哦，这位居然发啊 deposit, okay, deposit, okay. Consequently, consequently, consequently,
Consequently.
consequently, 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 okay, 最后 consequently 这个词儿经常用 consequently, 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 con, consequently, consequently between several percent of the funding for American corporate growth was generally generated internally, making industry increasingly independent of the banks. Even the federal government was becoming thrifty. 整个联邦政府都很节约，都很节俭。It had a growing stockpile of gold. It had a growing stockpile of gold for systematically redeeming the greenbacks which had been issued during the Civil War and was rapidly the national debt. Here was another trend that had to be halted. What the bankers wanted, and what many businessmen wanted also, was to intervene in the free market and tip the balance of interest rates downward to favor debt over thrift. 鼓励借贷，抑制储蓄，鼓励借贷。To accomplish this， 为了完成这个目标 ，accomplish this。这个好像记过很多次。accomplish, yeah, to accomplish this, the money supply simply had to be disconnected from gold and made more plentiful, or as they described it, more elastic. Elastic.
Elastic.
Elastic. Elastic. Elastic. Elastic. 叫货币宽松。As they described it more, as they described it more elastic. Elastic. Okay. Here was another trend that had to halted. 被提到。
Halted.
被收紧。Halted. Pause. Hot. 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 Hot.
Halt.
Hot. Hot. Okay. There was another trend that had to be halted. What the bankers wanted, and what many businessmen wanted also, was to intervene in the free market and tip the balance of interest rates downward to favor debt over thrift.
Intervene in the free market. Intervene in the free market. Intervene.
Intervene. What the banks wanted was to intervene in the free market. Okay. Intervene. Intervention. Intervention.
Intervention.
No. No. 这个 OK let intervention okay this one is intervene 一上面加一个 v intervention intervene, intervention, intervention, okay. Intervene in the free market and keep the balance of interest rates downward and favor debt over thrift. To accomplish this, the money supply simply had to be disconnected from gold and made more plentiful, or as they described, more elastic 货币宽松 elastic， 这就是货币宽松的由来。OK， money supply simply had to be disconnected from gold and made more plenty of elastic. Okay, the specter of bank failure. The specter of bank failure. 银行倒闭的 specter 幽灵恐惧。银行倒闭脆弱性。The specter of bank failure. The greatest, 这样读是对的吧
greatest,
greatest, greatest threats, however, came not from rivals or private capital
rivals,
rivals or private capital rivals.
rival,
rival, opponent, or private capital capital formation, but from the public at large, in the form of what bankers call a run on a bank. 叫 run the bank 就是挤兑是吗？银行挤兑。所以银行的对手是大众。Greatest threat 最大威胁并不来自竞争对手或者私人资本，而是来自公众以挤兑。Round the back, okay. The greatest threats, however, came not from the rivals or private capital formation, but from the public at large, in the form the public at large, 广大民众 the public at large, public at large. In the form of what bankers called round the bank. In the form of what bankers called run on a bank. Okay, 这就是极对分。Great threats, however, came not from rivals or private capital.
capital,
capital. 哎，不对，那个 a 啊capital capital not from private capital formation, but from the public at large, in the form of what bankers called a run the bank. This is because when bankers accept a customer's deposit, deposit, deposition, deposit,
deposit,
father, deposit, 上面两点deposit, okay, accept a customer's deposit, the giving return a balance in his account. This is equivalent of a promise to pay back the deposit at any time he wants. Likewise, when another customer borrows money from the bank, he also is given an account balance, which usually is withdrawn immediately to satisfy the purpose of the loan. This creates a ticking time bomb, because at that point the bank has issued more promise to pay on demand than it has money in the vault. Okay, likewise, equivalent of promise, payback. It's the equivalent. This is equivalent. 这相当于承诺。of 相当于 equivalent of。我的天呐 ！The equivalent of 这就相当于 this is the equivalent of
the equivalent of, equivalent,
equivalent 相等的equal equivalent equal equivalent
equivalent,
okay. This is equivalent of the promise to back the deposit at any time he wants. Likewise, when another customer borrows
borrows,
money from the bank, he also is given an account balance, which usually is withdrawn immediately to satisfy the purpose of the loan. This creates a ticking time bomb, because at that point the bank has issued more promise to pay on demand.
demand, demand,
pay on demand. Then it has money in the vault. in the vault. In the vault, 在金库里。
In the vault.
In the vault, 金库。In the vault. Okay, in the vault. In the vault. Even though depositing
Depositing.
depositing
Depositing.
customers, even though the depositing customer thinks he can get his money at any time he wants, in reality has been given to the borrowing customer and no longer is available at the bank. Problem is compounded further. Compounded.
Compounded. Compound.
Complex. Compounded further by the fact that the banks are allowed to loan even more money than they would have received in deposit. Mechanism for accomplishing this seemingly impossible feat will be described in a later chapter. But it is a fact of modern banking that promises to pay often exceed savings deposits by a factor of 10 to 1. And because only about 3% of these accounts are actually retained in the vault in the form of cash, the rest having been put into even more loans and investments, the bank's promises exceed its ability to keep those promises by a factor of over 300 to 1 as long as only a small percentage of depositors request their money at one time. No one is the wiser. But if public confidence is shaking, and if more than a few percent attempt to withdraw their funds, the scheme is finally exposed. The bank cannot keep all its promises and is forced to close its doors. Bankruptcy usually follows in due course. Bankruptcy 倒霉往往是以这种形式出现。Due courses in due courses 在适当的时间 in due course 时间的推迟 in due course bankruptcy okay
Bankruptcy usually follows in due course.
Bankruptcy usually follows in due course. Bankruptcy usually follows in due course. 破产，银行就是允许做放贷，部分保证金制度。 deposit, deposition, deposit. Had only 1/3% of this kind currently retained in their vaults, the form of cash. The rest have been put into even more loans and investments. Banks promise to exceed its ability to keep those promises. Promise exceed its ability.
Promise exceed its ability.
Exceed its ability.
Promise exceed its ability.
Promise exceed its ability.
Exceed its ability.
Exceed its ability. Exceed its ability. Exceed its ability. Exceed its ability.
Exceed its ability.
Exceed its ability.
Exceed its ability.
Exceed its ability. To keep those promises. Exceed the ability. Okay. Okay. Let's wrap it up today. Currency drains. 货币 drain 流失，
Currency drains.
这个是 drains。OK， 好，今天就先到这。Let's wrap it up today. Okay. Consortia. Consortia. Okay. Consort. Pale.
Consort.
Consortia.
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 Consortium.
Consortium. O 上面加个杠 ，O 上面啊，consortium. OK, consortia, banking consortia at a phenomenal rate in excess of 记不住 access
Excess.
in excess of 超出了 deposit in excess of their deposits in excess of their deposits. Consequently, intervention, 从中作梗，就叫 intervene， 干预。elastic, rival 一点记不住 rival 竞争对手 rival equal, equivalent, 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 equivalent，记住 is about 这个记住，金库 is about 这个记住 ，consequently 通常情况下是吧？最后啊 consequent 啊 sequent consequent sequent sequent
sequent,
sequent 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 consequent consequent consequently consequent sequent intervene intervention intervention elastic elastic rival equal equivalent 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 重音在哪
equivalent,
equivalent 重音肯定不在前面，在这里 equivalent equivalent in the vault 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 in the vault
vault.
in the vault. Okay, okay, okay. Okay, let's wrap up today. Thank you guys. Bye bye.